Hey guys, Tamarac's Treehouse back again with the next session that we had last night, which was really awesome because one of my players that is normally virtual came up from North Carolina, took the drive, and was at the table, and that was a pleasant surprise. But the party enters this cave system while they were looking for this boy who was effectively a sorcerer with untamed wild magic and had trouble controlling his powers, and the town was suspicious of him, and they wanted him gone. But there was a couple people that were sympathetic to him, so the party had some conversations with them, found out where he was, and then ventured off into this cave system. So basically, traversing through the cave, they do some investigation checks, and they find your typical scorch marks, burn marks, those kind of things along the side that basically shows that the boy was probably losing control of some of his fire magic in this area. And there was also some mandibles and chitinous type material lying around, which caused a bigger question as to what that was and why that was all here. As they ventured further on into the cave system and did some more investigation checking, they can see that the ground had some holes through it that looks like it was burrowed through by something or some things quite large. And as they continued on trying to figure their way and navigate through the cave system, there was a couple of skill checks that they had to run. Otherwise, they risked the ground falling out from beneath them and then plummeting down into the cave system terrain below. As they sent some of their familiars down into the holes, they basically just had some investigation checks and discovered it was really dark down here and they couldn't see a whole lot, but there was some rushing water underneath. There was a bridge system underneath there that probably led to somewhere else that they might want to venture off into. But they continued on. They saw that there was an area where the bridge was out, but there was a ladder on the side, so the ladder got put down. Some skill checks, they managed to successfully get across the rickety old ladder, where they were then able to traverse across a couple of much more sturdy bridges, which was pretty easy for them to canvas. They got across there, ventured on down into the cave system, did some more investigation checking, and found where the sorcerer boy was hiding out. There was this little entrance here, which they failed some investigation checks and didn't really find him. But I had him at a secret passageway right here, and he popped himself out and shot some fire bolts at them, and they eventually decided to, or they were capable of talking themselves out of this situation. He was scared and, didn't want to get taken away or killed or put in prison or something like that. So they navigated that conversation and role play really well. But then as the conversation continued on, he said he would be willing to go with them, but who would then protect the town up above? And that's when they asked some more questions. Protection from what? And he basically indicated that there were beasts and creatures down here, and he was the one protecting the town, and he's been fighting them off ever since he's been here. And they questioned it even further, and sure enough, bursting through the ground, a burrow opens up, and these large chitinous type creatures burst through the ground, more skittering across the ceiling. We've got some zergling type creatures that I'm calling the Greylings. We've got some really nice 3D resin printed minis from I think this is from Lord of the Print, I believe. Forgive me, but I think it's Lord of the Print. The Swarm was or the Infestation might be these minis here that I 3D printed out and painted up. They're basically giant ants. And then we've got these guys, which are just some Dwarven Forge Kree from their Burrows set. And then of course we have everybody's probably seen these before, but just some Tyrannids that I'm using as some kind of like an infantry unit burrowing through the ground. So that's where we pretty much ended the session, where these insect-like creatures burst through the ground. But as they come back next session, they'll wrap up this encounter, I'm sure, and then they can go further off into the cave system and see what's going on down there. There is a little bit of fog of war going here, which, because my players have found my YouTube channel, I will not release what is underneath there until next time. But I really do appreciate everybody stopping by. If you like videos like this, try to give some inspiration or some ideas of what you could do using terrain and lighting and sound effects and all these types of things in a immersive tabletop experience, which is what I really try to go for. Please feel free to like, subscribe, leave some comments below, feedback, anything along those lines. I really appreciate it. I know when I'm doing these videos, it's the lighting effects kind of get in the way and things like that, and it's hard to see what we've got going on here. So let me turn on the lights real quick, because I do have a lot of people that ask these questions, see what it's like during an actual full-on daylight. So naturally, this is just a lot of Dwarven Forge. They're caverns deep sets that I've kind of put together with along with some 3D printed material like these stalagmites and stalactites that I think are from Skyless Realms, EC3D Terrain. You can find them online. I back those Kickstarters whenever I can. But yeah, it really allows the elevation and makes it you know, like a real 3D type set, using some plexiglass underneath here so that we can get the nice effect of them basically falling through and seeing below. We've got a couple for lighting effects. We've got a couple of these tea lights, which are new. These are pretty cool. I found them on Amazon, but they're just not your normal tea lights. It actually has the remote control, so you can change the colors, which is really convenient because these things typically are either, you know, like a white or they just kind of blink naturally through the different color sets. So having it be able to be a specific color is really cool. I also have these little spotlights that I sometimes use. The players like to use them when it's too dark. They can shine it on their character sheets or whatever. But when they're not using them, I like to use them for added lighting effects. The fun part, though, is a lot of times the frequency of the remotes for things like this also impact the frequency and the lights here. So you just got to be careful about where you aim them. And then, of course, you can't really see it when the lights are on, but I've got the projector going. I usually try to match the screen image from a YouTube video or whatever, a living wallpaper, animated wallpaper, ambiance, ASMR kind of stuff. So this is just a cave system. You can't really see it there, but that's what it is. And then, of course, I've just got, you know, random lights and effects going on up here. These torches, I handmade those from a video from Sebastian. He's on Atmos Seeker. He's got a nice tutorial about how to make those videos, and that guy's phenomenal. He goes through all the different lighting effects and using the stream decks that I use to change the lighting effects and the sounds and get these candles all set up with different frequencies and smoked machines and all that type of stuff. I really recommend that you take a look at him on YouTube. It's Atmos Seeker if you want to find him there. But yeah, I really appreciate everybody stopping by, and until next time, really appreciate you.